Am I wrong for not wanting to attend party where will be people who fuck my girlfriend? My 31 male, girlfriend 27 female, and I have been together for about 2.5 years, and her company is planning their annual Christmas party, which includes an overnight stay, dinner, party, open bar, and more. Employees are encouraged to bring their partners, although it's optional. I've never attended before due to work conflicts in the past, but now she really wants me to go with her. She works at a large national recruitment agency, and each year, a different office hosts the event, so they stay in fancy hotels booked by the company. She's already let me know that attending this party is important for her career. It's a chance to meet colleagues from other regions and network with senior management. Most people bring their partners, and she thinks it would look good if I were there too. Here's where it gets complicated. We're very open with each other, and a while back, she told me that before we started dating, she had a threesome at one of these Christmas parties with two guys from her office. It was just something she did for fun and as a bucket list experience. She was upfront about it and said she doesn't regret it, but that was before we met, and it doesn't mean anything to her now. After thinking about it, I told her I'd rather skip the party this year, but that I was totally fine with her going alone. However, this has led to arguments all last week. She said I'm not being supportive of her career, that I'm being immature, and that I'm shaming her for something that happened before we were together. I honestly don't feel like I'm shaming her. I know the past is the past, and I'm not bothered by her sexual history in general. The thing is, we have different views on sex. For me, it's always been something special, while for her, it's more about fun. That difference hasn't been a problem for us. It's actually helped us learn from each other, and our relationship is in a good place overall. I'm even okay with the fact that she still works with the two guys from the threesome. What's bothering me is the idea of being at this party, socializing with those two guys, and knowing that everyone else at her work knows about what happened. She's told me it's not a big deal, that people made jokes and gave her nicknames afterward, but she's confident and doesn't care about the banter. But for me, it's hard to imagine shaking hands, making small talk, and sharing a meal with guys who've been intimate with my girlfriend. It just makes me feel awkward and uncomfortable. I've accepted her sexual history. People are entitled to that, and I respect it. But this feels different because it's in the present, and these guys are still part of her work environment. She's confident and doesn't let it bother her, but I'm struggling with it. For context, we're in a good place otherwise. We rarely argue, and we've been talking about marriage, kids, and the future. I don't want to do anything that would harm our relationship or her career, but I also don't want to force myself into a situation that makes me feel so uncomfortable. I'm just not sure what to do at this point. Should I push myself to attend the party for her sake? Or am I right to sit this one out? I don't want this to affect our future, and I'd appreciate any advice. Hi everyone, I want to take a moment to provide an update on the situation I posted about a while ago. First off, I really appreciate all the advice and feedback I received. Both the positive and negative comments gave me a lot to think about and helped me structure some important conversations with my girlfriend. To give a quick summary of my original post, my girlfriend 27F and I 31M have been together for almost 3 years. She invited me to her company's annual Christmas party, which involves an overnight stay and socializing with co-workers, including two guys she had a one-night stand threesome with before we started dating. I wasn't uncomfortable with her sexual history, but I felt awkward about attending the party, being in the same space as these guys, and the fact that people at her office still sometimes joke about it and use what I consider disrespectful nicknames for her. I also worried that I might end up as the butt of those jokes, which added to my discomfort. Initially, I declined to go, which caused tension between us. To clarify something from the original post, I'm not ashamed of her past at all. I knew before we started dating that she had a sex-positive outlook, and she was open about having been with around 50 guys. That was never an issue for me. We may have had different experiences. I've only had 3 long-term relationships, but it didn't stop me from pursuing a relationship with her. What made this situation feel different was the idea of facing people who actively reference that past experience and make jokes about it while I'm in the room. It felt socially uncomfortable to deal with that face-to-face. Now for the update. After some deep conversations and really listening to each other, my girlfriend helped me understand her perspective more clearly. She explained that being the only person from her office without a partner would make her feel awkward and isolated, especially in an event where partners are commonly present. She also admitted that she was hurt when I initially declined, as it made her wonder if I was shaming her past decisions, which wasn't my intention at all. We had a really constructive conversation about her views on sex positivity. She explained how she's proud of owning her past and that terms like slut don't bother her because she's reclaimed them as a way to celebrate her sexuality. She made me realize that her confidence in owning her choices is something I should wholeheartedly support, especially since women often get judged differently than men when it comes to sexuality. If she's comfortable with herself and the teasing at work doesn't affect her, then I realized I should trust her judgment and not let it affect me either. So, I've decided to attend the party. I still have some reservations, but I understand now that it's important to show my support for her career and her confidence in this environment. I trust her completely, and if she's comfortable, I want to be comfortable too. At the end of the day, I'm proud of how open and unapologetic she is about her views, and I don't want to let my own discomfort, or something as small as the possibility of being teased, get in the way of supporting her fully. Since then, we've had some great conversations about our careers, sex, relationships, and how society views women, which have only made our relationship stronger. Thanks again for all the advice. It's been incredibly helpful. My ex, who cheated on me with her trainer, just reached out after a year of silence, and now her life is falling apart and she wants me back. Hey everyone, I'm 28 male, and something unexpected happened recently. Honestly, I'm not sure how to handle it, so I figured getting it out there might help clear my head. The names have been changed, of course. A little over a year ago, I was in a committed 3-year relationship with Lisa, 27F. From my point of view, everything was going really well between us. We had started talking about moving in together and even had some casual discussions about marriage in the future. Around that time, I got into working out and introduced Lisa to my personal trainer, Ryan, 30M. Ryan was a really friendly, outgoing guy, and he and Lisa seemed to hit it off. I didn't think much of it, assuming they just had a good trainer-client connection. After a few months of them working together, though, Lisa started acting distant. She'd be busy after her workouts, come home later than usual, and her phone was suddenly always on Do Not Disturb. When I asked her about it, she'd brush me off, saying I was being overly suspicious. Turns out, I wasn't wrong to worry. One night, she left her phone on the counter while she was in the shower, and it lit up with messages from Ryan. Let's just say, they weren't discussing workout plans. I confronted her on the spot, and she broke down, admitting that she'd been cheating with him for months. She told me she fell in love with Ryan and that it wasn't anything I did. It was just something that happened. Within a week, she packed up her stuff and moved in with him. That was the hardest time of my life. It felt like my whole world had been flipped upside down. I blocked her on everything and focused on putting myself back together. I got into therapy, threw myself into the gym, and leaned on my friends. Little by little, I started to move on, but it left a pretty deep scar. Then, out of nowhere a few days ago, she reached out to me from a new number. At first, I wasn't going to respond, but curiosity got the best of me. She started by saying she missed me, apologized for everything, and admitted she made a huge mistake. Apparently, things with Ryan went south quickly. She found out he was cheating on her. Yeah, the irony. And now they've broken up. She's feeling lost and miserable. She also said she's been thinking about me for months, but was too ashamed to reach out until now. She told me she realizes now that what we had was real and that she wants to make things right. She claims she's willing to do anything to prove she's changed and asked if we could meet up and talk. Now, here's where I'm stuck. Part of me still has some leftover feelings for her, but the other part is yelling at me to block her again and move on for good. I'm not sure if I could ever trust her again after what she did, but hearing how broken she sounded stirred something up inside me. Maybe it's just pity or nostalgia, or maybe I'm being foolish. So here I am, trying to figure out if I should give her a chance to explain or if I should leave her in the past where she belongs. What would you guys do? Hey everyone, I wasn't planning on giving an update, but after meeting up with my ex, I feel like I need to get this off my chest. So, we met up yesterday over coffee. I wasn't sure what I was walking into. Part of me just wanted closure, while another part was still curious about what she had to say. We ended up talking for a solid couple of hours, and honestly, there was a lot to unpack. Lisa started off by apologizing. She admitted that leaving me for Ryan was the biggest mistake of her life, and she's been dealing with the fallout ever since. Without going too deep into the details, things between them weren't all sunshine and roses like she thought they'd be, and their relationship completely fell apart. She's been struggling with it mentally, emotionally, and even financially. It's been a tough year for her. But here's the part that really threw me. She also brought up things about our relationship that I hadn't really thought about. She said that while what she did was 100% wrong, she felt like I wasn't the best boyfriend either. According to her, I didn't always make her feel valued, and she built up resentment over time because of that. She mentioned that I was emotionally distant at times, more caught up in work or my own interests, and she felt like she wasn't a priority. She wasn't using it as an excuse for cheating, but she said that feeling underappreciated pushed her towards someone who made her feel wanted. Hearing that was tough. I never saw myself that way, but looking back now, I can see where I might have fallen short. I thought I was doing enough as a partner, but maybe I missed some important signals. She said she's been reflecting a lot and realizes now that she should have talked to me about how she felt instead of looking for comfort elsewhere. When we wrapped up the conversation, she asked if we could give things another shot. She claims she's learned from her mistakes and wants to rebuild what we had. She's saying she's willing to take things slow and prove she's changed, but I'm torn. I've spent the last year healing, and I'm not sure if going back is the right move. At the same time, hearing her admit to her mistakes and explain her side of things did stir up some emotions in me. I'm not sure if it's closure, sympathy, or old feelings sneaking back in, but something's there. Now I'm feeling pretty confused. Part of me wants to just move on and leave her in the past, but another part is wondering if we both made mistakes and if, after all this growth, there's a chance we could make it work. I'm not sure if she's just looking for a way to ease her guilt, or if she's genuinely hoping for something real. Hey everyone, I wanted to give you all a final update because things have taken a turn that I didn't expect. After my last post, where I told you about Lisa reaching out and us having that long conversation, I spent a lot of time thinking about everything. I gave myself a few days to really reflect and figure out what I wanted and, more importantly, what was best for me. Lisa kept texting, trying to keep the conversation alive, and I could tell she was genuinely struggling. Part of me felt bad for her, and I could see that she was trying to make things right. But every time I even thought about giving her another shot, I couldn't shake the memory of how shattered I was when I found out she cheated. That betrayal broke something inside me, and even though she apologized, I realized that trust might never fully return. I was already leaning towards moving on, but then something happened that sealed the deal for me. Just a couple of days ago, I got a message from a mutual friend of ours. Apparently, after our meetup, Lisa had a bit of a breakdown. She went back to Ryan trying to fix things with him again, but it turns out Ryan had been cheating on her from almost the moment they got together. The situation escalated, leading to a pretty ugly confrontation between Lisa and Ryan, which has now landed both of them in some serious legal trouble. Without getting too deep into the details, Lisa's life has basically fallen apart. She lost her job, is facing legal issues, and is struggling with her mental health. Hearing that was tough. No matter what, it's hard to see someone you once loved in so much pain. But at the same time, it felt like the universe was sending me a clear message. I realized that Lisa wasn't reaching out to me because she loved me or wanted to rebuild what we had. She was desperate and had nowhere else to go. I would have been her safety net, not her first choice. So I made my decision. I've cut off all contact with her. I wished her the best, but I told her it was time for both of us to move on. It's the healthiest choice for both of us. As for me, I've been doing really well. Since Lisa and I broke up, I've focused on myself, my career, and building new connections. I'm in a good place mentally and emotionally now, and I've even started dabbling with the dating apps. LOL, they're a mess, but better than my last situation. For the first time in a long while, I feel like I'm truly happy again. Thank you for all the comments, both good, bad, and useful. Useless. If there's one big takeaway from all of this, it's that sometimes the past is better left in the past. People can change and grow, but that doesn't always mean they're meant to be part of your future. Thanks to everyone who gave me advice and support through all of this. It's been a wild ride, but I'm finally at peace. Stay strong, everyone. You deserve better than settling for someone who didn't see your worth the first time around.